What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Spectators Podcast. It is season 2, episode 1. And my name is Julian. I am here with my brother Kin. We got the Yankees with the brim, and we're about to go in on some MLB today. In season 2, we are pretty much specifically looking at baseball and MLB prospects and all of that. And that's going to be more or less the future of this show. So if that is something you guys are interested in, make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned for future episodes and videos. We're going to be doing a lot of baseball stuff over here at Spectators Media. So looking forward to all that. Ken, how you doing, baby boy? How you doing, my brother?
I love that, like, almost that whole time you were looking directly into the
Directly.
camera, so you have no clue what kind of
Nah.
debacle I was going on with over here. Man, I'm feeling great. Just woke up from a nap, so feeling marvelous. Good power nap. Laid down for like a half hour, woke up feeling like I want to go back to sleep. But I did
Like I want to go back to sleep. Oh, good to have you here, fresh eyes. All right, but again, it's season 2, and we're gonna be doing a lot of baseball stuff as we move forward. And so today, we are gonna take a look at the MLB offseason so far. On previous episodes and such, we haven't dove too deep into anything that's happened to the MLB world since the World Series. So we kind of have a lot to cover. Who knows if we'll do it all? We got plenty of time now because this is the main focus. And let's get into it. I want to know right away, straight away, one of your favorite free agent signings so far.
this is a guy I've wanted the Yankees to either trade for. Well, actually, yeah, I wanted them to trade for him the past like 2 or 3 years. It's been a position of need for us, and he got signed for what I would say is a very solid deal. It is Jamer Candelario.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely would fill the third base spot for us. Hits for a decent amount of pop. Doesn't really walk much at all, but if you're getting on base like a 340, 350 clip, slugging is always in the mid to high fours, and he's always just a slightly above average bat who he plays defense. Not necessarily great defense, but he plays defense.
He plays.
And just dude, compared to what DJ LeMahieu has been for the past like 3 years for us, he would be a monumental upgrade at third base. But he went to the Reds, and I do love that signing for the Reds. They're a young team. He'd be a good little veteran piece for them, kind of in the middle. He's 30. Um, but, you got a lot of guys on that team that are low to mid 20s, so nice little veteran presence in that locker room. I think the Reds could be a sneaky, like decent, almost 80-win team next season.
Yeah, no, they'll win more games than that. I feel like they've made a couple of good moves. I feel like they're one of just the overall like winners in terms of like free agency. Candelario is a great pickup, like you said, brings another switch hitting bat to them. They had a lot of guys kind of come out of nowhere, not really, because a lot of them are highly touted prospects, but they had a lot of guys come out last year and do well right away. And Candelario will be able to probably help Ellie De La Cruz kind of figure out the switch hitting situation a little bit. 3 year, $45 million is a really good deal. And you're spending $15 million a year on a guy who had 3 WAR last year. That's some really, really good value, in my opinion. So I love that. Yeah,
Real.
you're right. They also got Frankie Montas. I don't know if that'll be good or bad, but he is a pitcher of all time.
He does pitch.
He does pitch.
He
And when he's
does
healthy, he throws innings, even.
real. He does toe the slab frequently when his shoulder works.
When it stays attached to his torso, which it doesn't feel like
Oh.
that happens that often, but that's something. So I mean, they made some good moves, and they're still so young. I'm sure like Nick
Dude,
Lodolo will be better and all that. What
Jamer's
am
he's just a double machine. Sorry, he's just a doubles machine. Didn't even mention that. In 2021 led the league in doubles. 2023 he had 39 doubles. He's just an absolute doubles machine.
well, and to go from Chicago to Cincinnati, some of those doubles might turn into home runs too. So that's definitely pretty nice.
Valid.
Very hitter friendly park over there in Cincinnati. So that 22 homers might turn to like 27. What are his steamer projections? I can actually look at that real quick. Uh, he's
Oh, that's that flash drive.
projected a little bit of a drop off, but not
Crazy.
like anything too crazy. Like his numbers are going to look very similar. I think they just assume he's going to wind up like a little bit less extra base hits. So he's projected a 1.1 WAR. Mostly everything else is the same across the board. Probably won't be playing the field as much, which is why that WAR dip will probably be happening. But
Yeah, that makes sense.
those are his projections. We'll probably be doing that for a lot of the guys we talk about. One of my favorite signings actually happened yesterday. I think it was yesterday or Friday. I'm not exactly sure which. The Houston Astros. Since when do we ever hear about them going and signing a guy that's not their own? It just never happens. They go and get Josh Hader. I say not their own, even though he technically is. They drafted Josh Hader, and he came up with them. He was traded. I forgot who the deal was for a couple of years ago when they were starting to get good. He was traded over to Milwaukee, and Josh Hader, one of the best relievers in baseball, the best lefty reliever in baseball for a while now. He's had like I think 3 straight years of 30 save seasons. Ended the year really strong over there in the Padres, and that last 3 of the bullpen over there in Houston is honestly pretty scary now. Ryan Presley's never like wowed me by any means, but he's also a guy that just doesn't give up save opportunities. Like every time he comes in, he gets a save. He barely
Real.
gives up hits. Like I don't love the stuff he does, and then it seems like it's the easiest 1-2-3 inning you've ever seen. Brian Abreu throws gas, and he's been really, really good last year and getting better every year. And Hader's better than both of them. That 1-2-3 is actually super scary, like reminiscent of the Royals days type scary.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I wouldn't love it is just because in the reliever market, it's one of the most volatile positions in baseball
Yeah,
where anyone can be good out of nowhere. I mean, you can just look at a guy like Clay Holmes a few years back going from 5 ERA to one of the best ground ball pitchers in baseball with the Yankees.
yeah,
So I never loved spending what's the average, like 18 mil or 19 mil a year?
yeah. He's making 19,
Um
5 year 95, so 19 mil.
yeah, I don't love that. Unless it's arguably the best relief pitcher in baseball, then I'd
Exactly.
say it's valid. Um, so yeah, I did think that is, just an obnoxious pickup because they're already one of the best teams in the league.
It's an
So let's
obnoxious
just
pickup. It's
just
annoying.
keep getting better.
It's
Just
so annoying. Their lineup's already good. Now, like, they have an opportunity in these playoff games to just go 7, 8, 9. The game's already over. Better be winning before that. That's annoying. I hate that.
I can't stand them.
I can't stand them. But it's a great move. Like,
Oh, objectively, incredible move.
yeah, and it's one of those moves that like it happens and you see it, you're like, oh, the Astros are still good because the Rangers were so good at the end of last year. The Yankees get Juan Soto. Like, it's always nice to see the new things on the other teams. You're like, oh, it's their time to finally be good. The Orioles are young and getting better. They're gonna get Jackson Holiday this year. You're like, oh yeah. No, it's still the Astros. They're still here. Was it like 7 straight years of ALCS? Like, ugh, nasty devil magic. Nasty devil magic. But I think that free agent signing is great. It's one of the better ones. There's probably a couple other ones, especially if you look over at the Dodgers, but those are the obvious ones to talk
Dodgers,
about,
man.
right? Those are the obvious ones to talk about. $1 billion in an offseason? $1 billion?
Actually insane.
325 to
Actually
Yamamoto, 135 to Glass now. I forgot how much it was to Ohtani. 700 mil. Teoscar got
Yeah, but it's
23
okay.
million. Oh,
Don't worry about the 700 mil. They're gonna pay that in like 2045. It's fine. They're good.
it really is crazy because they gave out $1 billion this offseason. $1 billion. And they're not even in top 4 for payroll next year because Ohtani has deferred pays. Mookie has deferred payments. Freddie Freeman has deferred payments. Teoscar Hernandez has deferred payments. That's their top 4 earners. And they're all getting paid later. Teoscar got a 1-year deal. And right before we started recording this, you were talking about how like Teoscar's not like your favorite guy, which is like valid, whatever.
Real.
Real.
Don't like them.
Defensive liability. It's not like the best thing. but like a 1 year deal, and he's making like 23.5 million, but like 20 of it is in like the next 6 years. It's just the strangest contract. I've never seen a 1 year deferment. It's gonna be the all right. Hang with me. The year is 2032. Mookie Betts can no longer walk. His ankle is absolutely snapped in half. Chase Utley's ghost came back and slid into his ankle. Uh,
Damn,
so
that's
that's
just
yeah,
wrong.
yeah. He's mad that he might not get into the Hall of Fame. You've seen the Hall of Fame voting; those guys suck. That'll be another episode we do one of these days.
Ooh, I hate it.
We'll wait when we actually get the results when the one person gets in the Hall of Fame, and we're pissed about it because like Gary Sheffield not getting in is an objective like disaster class, and he's just not going to. It's very sad. But the year is 2032. The Dodgers have no more guys in their farm. They're not that good anymore. Ohtani, you can't pitch anymore. Obviously, it's 8 years from now. He's not pitching for another 10 years. So Ohtani is Giancarlo Stanton with a really cool interpreter. And the Dodgers are on pace to win 63 games. But they have a top 5 salary because they're paying every single guy on their 2024 roster another 18 million for God knows what reason. That'll be a fun time.
God,
That'll
dude,
be a really, really fun year going in. And be like, you know what? You guys probably won a World Series because it's really hard to see this team not. So you guys got your World Series.
I don't know, man. They kind of just act like the greatest regular season team of all time. That's really what the Dodgers are. They're the greatest regular season franchise of all time.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, they're one of the better ones, like franchise-wise, in the league. But you're definitely right. They have one World Series in the last 24 years, despite being a top 7 team probably every single season during that. 7's like the generous little cushion we give them. But they've been a top 7-ish team every single year since like Eric Gagne. And that's a long time ago now. It's a long time ago now. So, yeah, the one World Series is crazy. I mean, like, again, it's hard to look at this core and think they don't win one in this year or next year. It's really hard to like, imagine that. Like, Mookie is playing the best he's ever played. Freddie's playing the best he's ever played. Ohtani's just got an MVP, his second one. Will Smith is declining, but still one of the better catchers. And that's just, like, the first 5 guys. Then Teo's still, like, their 7 hole. Like, damn.
God, I can't wait till Teo stinks.
He might stink. He might stink.
I just like whenever I'm on Twitter, I just always see overreactions to things, and I think the Teoscar Hernandez signing is one of those overreactions where everyone's like, "Oh my God, look! I can't believe this guy. They signed him." And I mean, they signed a guy who doesn't walk, who can't run the bases, who swings at every pitch that's thrown, who has negative defensive value outside of his arm, and will probably finish with less than 2 WAR. Why are we so terrified of this signing?
Because he's a 7 hitter. That's why. Like
I guess yeah.
Like when he signed with the Mariners, he was like their power guy. And now he's signing with the Dodgers, and he's like, this is the afterthought.
Right.
And when
now he's gonna put up fucking 35 home runs.
Well, he's gonna have a JD Martinez season last season.
Yeah.
Because JD went to the Dodgers, were like, man, whatever. That's stupid. Like, he's old, he's washed. No, he put up like 33 homers. He had like a 920 OPS last year. It's crazy. Gross, actually.
Genuinely like forgot he existed, actually.
And I know, and he was fantastic. It was gross. Thankfully, he won't be there. But no, I do feel you, and it's. You know what it reminds me of? A little NBA comp for our NBA people still around. Kyle Lowry to the Heat. Those vibes.
I'm a Kyle Lowry guy.
I'm a Kyle Lowry ass guy for surely.
Now, what do you mean by that?
I, the Skim sponsor has not Skim sponsored yet. Is all I'm gonna say. NBA do better, man. You got primo marketing right here. You have a chance to just milk the Kardashian cash cow, and you're not doing it. It's embarrassing.
That's that was one of the sentences you've ever said in one of these podcasts.
Yeah, it was one of the five at least.
That's
One of the five. It's really, it really is. Who else? What was another signing you think was good, or a trade? It doesn't have to be a signing. It could be a trade.
Oh, trade. I'm a Yankees fan. Love the Juan Soto deal.
Yeah,
If
Michael King
you
leaving
would
is
have told
sad.
me,
I'm sad about it,
see,
but
I
Juan
am
Soto's
sad
here.
about that. But if you would have told me like 2 or 3 years ago that Michael King would be the centerpiece to getting Juan Soto, I would have called you an absolute moron.
Yeah, just a
Like I would have
lunatic.
called you the dumbest dude ever. If you would have been like, yeah, dude, one day we're gonna trade Michael King for one of the top 3 hitters in baseball, I'd be like, yeah, you're dumb. There's
Well, like,
absolutely no way.
and imagine specifically pre Corey Kluber Michael King when he was horrible, when he
That's
didn't
what
throw
I'm
a sweeper
saying.
and his sinker did not sink. Michael King was objectively like bad, and then Corey Kluber came and is just like, "Here is my crown, my sweet prince," and just handed over the baton. And he's been electric since, and I think he's gonna have a great season, especially if he winds up being a starter. I think he's gonna be really good this year. But like Juan
Yeah,
Soto
and
is a top 4 hitter in the American League. I think he's the 4th best hitter in
it's
the American
valid.
League, which makes him the 4th best hitter probably in just baseball. Maybe 5.
And I know like
It's fine.
Yankees fans as a whole, I know obviously they hate giving up Michael King, and now they're all, not all of them, but a lot of them were like, "Oh my god, our pitching is going to be terrible." I feel like if we
It's a
went
worry.
into the season right now, I would like to think we get some sort of regression to the mean where Carlos Rodon, maybe he's not as great as he once was,
Yeah.
but he's not as awful as he was a season ago. Same thing with someone like Nestor Cortez, didn't have his best season last year. Maybe he comes back to like his average spot, but still probably not as great as he was in 21 or 22. And also just everyone was injured.
That's how it always
So
is,
while
man.
I do want us to pick someone up, I also love that we have like 6 or 7 legitimate decent starting rotation options to start the year. You know, someone
Yeah,
like Clark
and
Schmidt.
eventually somebody's gonna get hurt, and that's like an issue we'll have to deal with. You'll wind up seeing a Clayton Beater come up or something of that nature. But as of now, the
They like him.
rotations, yeah. I mean, he can't throw a strike,
Yeah.
but if he can, then
Yeah,
it'd be great.
it's all right if he's throwing it to Teoscar Hernandez.
Real. Javi Baez, per chance. How many
Oh
games
my
against the
goodness, I forgot
the
he
Tigers do
existed.
we get? More than 6, hopefully. Um, no, I agree. And then they get Stroman to kind of fill out the rotation, which a really, really team
Yep.
friendly deal. Shout out to Stroman for that. I know Stroman's kind of had his weird little blips with Yankees fans over time, especially like on Twitter. And he was a Met for a while, and Stroman's a
Dude,
Puerto Rican guy,
objectively,
so like
hilarious
make
signing.
no, he makes so much. It's crazy. Stroman is like, you know, when you just don't like somebody. Like, remember like in high school or something like that, you just didn't like somebody, and somebody's like, why don't you like them? You're like, I don't know. Like, here's excuse number 1, excuse number 2. They said this one time. It's like, yeah, but like they're the same person as me. Like, you love me. It's like, yeah, but that's you. That's you. It's like Stroman is exactly the type of pitcher Yankees fans would love. He's fiery.
One thing,
He's
like,
ground ball. He's good.
that's what I was gonna say, especially like the fiery part. One thing that I now we're starting to go on a tangent about the Yankees, but we're Yankees fans, so like fuck it. Like when it comes to Juan Soto, when it comes to Marcus Stroman, we're finally gonna have people that like do things
Like, feel
like that
passionate.
aren't the Yankee way.
No.
We're gonna have Juan Soto shuffling in the box and watching his home runs for 18 seconds, and
Pretty sick.
Stroman showing all the emotion in the world. And you know, George is gonna be in his grave like, who the hell are these guys on my
Who
team?
who let these
Who-
Caribbeans on my team?
these hooligans.
Yeah. He'll have some not as nice words, obviously. But I mean, like, no, they're gonna bring some fun. The team should be more fun. Like, they're gonna be better just based on the fact that like Rizzo can see in a straight line and then like Juan Soto's on the team. So like just those two things alone, they'll be better. But they're gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time, and it seems like they do a good job of like trying to make relationships with each other. I don't know. Every time I've ever seen a guy get traded or a free agent, like their first things are like, yeah, like Judge and Garrett and Rizzo and Glaber all like shot me a text, said like, welcome in, can't wait to work. It's like,
Yeah, they all
good.
kissed me on the forehead and welcomed me to the team, and we're like, oh, okay, cool.
Nice group kissing. We don't even know his government name yet. Group kissing, nice. I like that about us. No, so that's a good signing. I think they've had a great offseason so far. I don't think they wind up making any other moves. They're linked to Hector Neris. I don't hope they do that. It's going to be an expensive reliever for a guy who's like probably not even your closer. Not my favorite.
Yeah,
They're great at
yeah.
making
If
bad
you,
guys good. So just like make this Cody
yeah,
Morris dude. You
especially
got
like
Jesus, and we'll move on.
Hector Neris is kind of like what I was talking about earlier, like paying a reliever way too much money when you can go find someone for $1 million or less.
Yeah.
And especially if you look back at some of these Yankees teams over the past 5, 6 years, one of our biggest issues in 2019 was we just threw millions of dollars into the bullpen and they were all terrible. Like they were all objectively
Britton sucked. Ottavino
ass.
sucked. Araldis was okay that year, but
Right. And then we instead put that money into a pitching coach. And, well, we all know what happened after that.
he's
Matt
so
Blake
handsome.
is
He's God.
objectively God.
Yeah, he's so good. He is so good, and I'm excited for that. Um, hmm. What else? I mean, we've spoken about the Dodgers and the Yankees as we'll probably wind up doing like every episode realistically, unless specifically advised not to by the higher ups. The higher ups being you or me. Rowlett maybe might be Rowlett.
Oh, I know who.
Sup, little man? Sup, little man?
just the awkward pause. Just like, was I supposed to say something else?
I don't know.
My son, he wants
My
uppies.
son giving the child uppies. Nice.
He wants uppies.
I feel like I'd be remiss to not mention the actual best signing of the offseason.
Oh no.
The singular best the best signing. The Chicago White Sox took their head right out of their ass and got international superstar Eric Fetty, MVP of the KBO. Dude, he was MVP. He was great. It was crazy. He was horrible on the Nationals. Absolutely
Say,
abysmal.
he was literally batting practice on the Nationals.
He was horrible. And he goes to the KBO last year, goes 20-6, 2 ERA, over 200 strikeouts, under a 1 whip. He was unbelievable. And this is like a league that they don't strike out a lot in the KBO. It's not like this isn't the MLB. This isn't a 200 strikeout a year league. 2-year, $50 million. Not the best, actually, of course. But I'm proud of Eric Fetty. I feel like a lot of guys should maybe start to look at this as a potential option for them. Guys like, I don't know, like Mike Moustakas, Hunter Renfroe, guys that have hit really, really well in the past and need like a 1-year deal. Maybe like a Jock Peterson. Like, I know he can go play for the Blue Jays right now and he's not signed yet, but go play in a KBO for a season. Go hit 330, put up 40 bombs, and then get a 2-year, $16 million deal, and you just got to go play in Korea, which is kind of sick. I don't know.
It's kind of like when like say a WWE wrestler doesn't pan out in WWE, and then he goes and he performs in all these other independent shows and comes back to WWE and he's God again.
Yeah. It's
like
just
a
sometimes you gotta see success, feel success when you see it and you live it. And you're like, oh wait, yeah, I am good at this game. And then you go back and then like Scherzer's a bum. And you hit a ball 450 off him. You're like, hell yeah, that was sick. Proud of myself. I'm back.
Did you say 25 million?
No, 2 year 15 million. I
Oh,
might
I
have
was
said
gonna
25,
say.
but it's 2 year 15. 2 year 15. So it's a
I
cheap
heard,
deal too. Like that's a
dude.
great deal if he's gonna eat innings. If he's gonna pitch 180 innings, $7 million for a guy to pitch 180 innings is the best value, literally, of the entire offseason.
Dude, all he has to do is give you a 4 ERA and you're happy.
If he gives you a 4.5 ERA, but it's 160 innings, because the
Incredible
White Sox
timing.
aren't going to a World Series. Like let's call a spade a spade. They're not going to a World Series this year. And even if this was a World Series contending team or like team that wanted to, say instead of the White Sox, you went to the Cubs, same deal, right? Still 4.5 ERA, 160 innings, 130 strikeouts or so. That's for
He's probably
$7
your 4
million
or 5
dollars.
starter.
Dude, he's the guy getting you over. That's so nice. And like it's a really underappreciated spot for teams. Not that many teams have a really good 4 guy or like a really good 5 guy that can just like coin flip a game. Like
I
if
was gonna say,
if
he's
your
gonna be
5
like
is a
the
coin
guy.
flip,
Yeah, he's gonna come in September. Well, if he was on a good team, he would be the guy that comes in a random September start when the division's on the line, and he's giving you 6 innings of 1-run ball out of nowhere. He's the Andrew Heaney, the 2021 Andrew Heaney.
I
Where
wanted to
were you when
compare him
Andrew
to
Heaney pitched?
2022 Jose Quintana, where it's just like out here just giving you great outings in September for God knows what reason, even though you're washed behind your years and throwing like 90, 91 on a good day. But then you go get a good contract. Look at him. He's on the Mets now. Nobody's scared of Jose Quintana. The Mets went from one
No.
off season where they were DeGrom, Scherzer, Verlander, why am I blanking on the Kodai Senga and then Quintana? And you're like, oh, that's like one of the best rotations I've ever seen, potentially. And now this year they're rolling out Luis Severino at the 3. And you're like, man, what happened?
Genuinely can't name 5 Met starters right now. There's
Um,
Sevy, there's Quintana, there's
Kodai.
oh, what's that one guy's name? Oh, Senga. Yeah, there's who's that
I
one
don't.
guy that they swear is God, even though he's painfully mid. They swore he was God for a few games. Oh, I'm just gonna look up the rotation.
Yeah, I don't.
Mets starting
I don't know
pitchers.
who
I
you're talking
forgot
about.
his name.
I don't remember if David Peterson is still in that rotation or not, but if he is, there he is.
Hold on.
Nice,
Hold
congrats,
on.
man.
What the hell is his name?
You
Mets
are
starting
fighting for your
pitchers.
life.
I am fighting for my life. Once I read his name, I'm gonna be so upset. This thing's taking forever to load. I don't want to see their probable pitchers. The season's just a start for depth chart. There we go. Thank you.
Season does not start. We
Oh,
do get pitchers and catchers next month, though, so shout out. Baseball is coming.
Tyler McGill.
Oh,
They
God.
they swore he was God
He
for a
did.
few
He
months.
did have a nice little run there for a second, and then he was like, you know how in the NBA on NBA Twitter right now, whenever like somebody has a terrible
Jeremy
game.
Lin. Oh, never mind. Anyways, go on.
No, not
I was gonna
Linsanity.
say Linsanity run.
No. The opposite. Whenever somebody in the NBA has a bad game, and so like Jason Tatum misses like game-winning shot, of course, because he always does, because he's the least clutch guy in the league. And so it's a picture AI generated of Tatum staring at the court, just booty full of poop. shit his pants. Tyler McGill versus the Guardians.
Dude, I don't understand. So I've never actually looked up Tyler McGill's stats. I'm looking at him now. He's horrible. Like
Yeah.
he is his best. Not that ERA is the best stat, but his best
It's not a good
ERA
stat.
year was a 4.52. Which again, if that's your 5 starter, whatever, you live with it. But they swore he was God.
It was. I think you're just really living in the Twitter sphere for a second here. If I'm gonna keep it a bean with you.
You're not 100% wrong.
Yeah, I think you're living big Twitter sphere, and you're like, because Mets Twitter is not good. It's not good. They have some good people over there, but their Twitter is a tough watch sometimes.
Their Twitter is just filled with people that have little brother syndrome.
Which is fine. Do what you do, man. Do what y'all do. I'm not mad at you. I like the Mets. I'm a Mets guy. Obviously Yankee guy, but like I'm a Mets sympathizer, if you will.
See, I'm one of those people, and this is how I feel about the Blue Jays too. For a while, I thought the Blue Jays were like this fun up and coming team, and then their fans started existing more, and I was like, wow,
I'm out.
I can't stand the Blue Jays anymore. And that's exactly how I felt about the Mets too. For a while I was like, they're the other New York team. I think they're cool. And then they got a little good and their fans like came out from under the covers and I was like, "Oh, I don't like the Mets anymore."
They have the Blue Jays have like they have a big fan base too. I think a lot of my hatred, not really hatred. I don't really hate them. I think a lot of them are pretty good people. But a lot of the Blue Jays thing is they just have the whole country behind them. So like All-Star voting comes around, and then Santiago Espinal is like starting an All-Star game, and it's like you guys are like ruining something that's like pretty cool. It's like this is why we can't have nice things type of head assery.
I just think it's hilarious. I compared the Blue Jays to who did I compare them to the other day? I don't remember. I'm not gonna look it up because that's just too much time. But the one thing that I always thought was beyond annoying is how the Blue Jays got a little good. They still lost to the Yankees 80% of the time, even when they got pretty good. Like they always had a losing record, even for the past 5-6 years. Probably not last year because the Yankees stunk. I didn't look at it. But they always had a losing record to the Yankees still, and yet Vlad and then their whole fan base is like, yes, look at this rivalry we have with this team we can't beat. It's not a rivalry. Oh, I compared Patrick Mahomes and the
Josh
Chiefs
Allen.
to Josh Allen and the Bills. Yeah.
Where the Bills
not
like, this rivalry, you guys are scared of us. You can't beat us in the regular season. Nah, don't care. Which happens tonight, by the way. Mahomes is gonna thankfully send Josh Allen and company home again. Like the fourth year.
Wait.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna be running victory laps.
And it's funny.
The amount of victory laps I've been running.
It's kind of funny because you've been anti-vindicated for about 8 weeks now. Like Josh Allen has been like really good for the last third of the year, maybe a little bit more. Like he's been really good, and he's been really good. And it's like every time it happens, he's just like sitting there watching his TV, just waiting. He's like, I know. And you're gonna do that thing where you get one, not even a clunker, but like they just lose an OT again to the Chiefs. You're like, I told you, Mitch Trubisky wannabe, and it's gonna be funny, and I'm gonna enjoy seeing the Twitter rant for that.
I've been running so many. This is off topic now. We're losing more football stuff, but the amount of victory laps I've been running. I don't know how many times I've tweeted. Like I went back and found one of my old tweets, just been like, I cooked. You
did cook with the Eagles one where you said the defense regression was gonna hit. You cooked there.
Absolutely cooked. I don't remember who else lost or that I cooked. Oh, I said something about the Cowboys not being as good as they really were. Cooked on that one. I don't know. There's a lot of tweets that I went back and just I cooked. We
gotta do our best to try and cook for this MLB season and then come back to these and be like,
I never lose.
I'm him.
Never ever lose.
Which if you guys don't follow us on Twitter, make sure you do that at Julian the Cut at 24kin_, right? Yeah.
Sure. _24kin.
Oh, okay. The dyslexia hit. And then at Spectators Media for our stuff. You'll be able to get updates and all that over there. Make sure you're doing that. Okay. I also want to mention, free agent wise, the Red Sox, what are y'all doing? That's it. Just what are y'all doing? Because you're young.
Bloom.
Your young guys are great. He's gone now. He's over in St. Louis. He's like an advisor or
Yeah.
something. Um, they get Tyler O'Neill. My like, how does that help this team? I
Just
don't
a
know.
absolute muscle daddy that doesn't have the
He
same
is
quote as
jacked.
muscle mommy, but
He is
yeah,
muscle daddy. That's true. He is the strongest
he's
dude in the
jacked.
league.
Yeah, he's jacked to have like probably relatively similar batting numbers to someone I've mentioned a lot today because Tyler O'Neill doesn't know when to stop swinging either. But
Yeah, he walks a decent amount. I don't know. This feels weird. Like this feels like a side grade from Verdugo, but Verdugo you knew fit on the team and had this like kind of leadership role there, and now you're just side grading and losing that. It's a little strange. Um, then they go get Lucas Giolito as their replacement for Chris Sale because they trade away Sale for Von Grisham, and you're like, huh? 2 years, $38.5 million for Lucas Giolito. Why didn't y'all just get Eric Fetty?
see, the thing that is odd about Boston though, and they do this every year, even when they're not good, they still win like 80 games and they're still kind of annoying to play against. And you're like, all right, like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You're still existing in an annoying manner.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, they have good players still. Like Rafael Devers is always going to be on like at least a somewhat competitive team. Like he's, him and then Brian Bayo was fantastic last year. They have a good farm system too. It's not like they have a bunch of bums in their farm. And when some of those guys start coming up, and Tristan Casas has another year under him, like they have some good things around, but like they can't develop pitching. They don't have a Matt Blake or the Houston pitching coach or the Dodgers pitching coach. They don't have that. So they can't develop pitching. So they go every year to like, how do we get somebody that can help this rotation? And instead of doing the Dodgers thing, where they go and get a Tyler Anderson and then make him a serviceable 4, they go get a guy who was a former 1 or 2, overpay him out of his prime,
James Paxton, baby.
and think like we can fix him. And it's like that's like
Oh no.
the girlfriend that thinks she can fix her deranged boyfriend when she's also deranged. You're not gonna fix him. You're gonna instigate him. How are you gonna help Lucas Giolito be better when he gives up a lot of home runs and now he's playing in Boston? Like, how is that gonna help him?
Just because it's Boston math. There's
Boston
girl
math.
math, there's boy math, there's Boston math.
Girl math makes way more sense. I give like the girl dinner type genre a lot of crap because it deservedly is bad. Girl math though goes crazy. I'm spending that extra $10 to get that free shipping. Absolutely. I'm just doing
If
it.
I use cash, I didn't actually spend any money.
And that's how the Oakland Athletics feel when they're signing players. They're like, hey, come here. Come play for me.
Yeah.
Off the books. Like, no. What?
Oh,
Oakland.
man.
Oh,
What are we
Oakland.
doing?
You freaks. I don't think they've signed anybody, have they? They never do. How do they have enough players
If
for
they
a
did-
team?
Well, because they probably found some guy that they signed for like $6 million, who's a 33-year-old veteran who's gonna be their best player, and I don't know, like someone like who was their shortstop or second baseman the past few years? That was like their best player. Literally, exactly what I just described.
I was gonna say Jorge Mateo, not him. Marcus Semion's gone.
No,
Who are you even
no.
talking about, man? They don't have a best player. They
Hold on.
stink.
I know,
They're not good.
but hold on.
You remember the
You're
switch
gonna-
hitting second baseman they used to have?
I think that's literally what I'm thinking.
Jed
Hold on,
Lowry?
I got him.
It's not Jed
I
Lowry.
wasn't thinking of Lowry. No.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Oh, Aledmus Diaz. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, I mean, he's okay. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
cool. He's cool. I like Aledmus.
I wonder how much money he makes.
I like Brent
wonder
Rooker
how,
too. Brent Rooker's cool. He's a good Twitter follower.
Yeah, Brent
also.
Rooker had a month where he was Barry Bonds, and then he
was okay.
then after that he just existed.
Yeah. He was Barry Bonds for a month though. That was kind of crazy. That was kind of crazy. Just everything was leaving. I love guys that just for a month just lock in. They just tighten their hat and like everything they were doing that month was right. And then like they go on a road trip and I overslept a little on the plane and it's just gone. It's just gone.
Real.
It's so sad the way it comes and goes. What?
Um, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about there's a lot of guys out there that haven't signed, and sometimes it feels like free agency has moved a little slow. Do you have any thoughts, ideas, anything as to just why?
Um, no, it's kind of moved slow the last couple of years. Remember the Bryce Harper, Manny Machado year where they signed like 2 weeks before spring training? Like that was strange.
Mm,
So there's just some years that kind of be the way that it is because of do. Um, and I don't really know why. And there's a lot of free agents available right now that are still guys that like in other years might have set the market, but are instead just falling victim to the market, I guess. I don't really know. Cody Bellinger, not signed. Jock Peterson, not signed. Jordan Montgomery, not signed. Blake Snell, not signed. Again, Josh Hader was only signed yesterday. Like, those are big names. And I don't fully know. The craziest part to me is like, there are clearly 2 or 3 teams in on each of these guys. It's not like there's this Blake Snell everybody's like, please give me Blake Snell, even though he's still very good. He's in his prime. He just won a Cy Young. People are a little bit scared of the money in the years that he wants, which is completely valid because he'll probably only be good another 2-3 years. And he's probably want like 6 or 7. So I understand that. And then you look at like a Rodon contract, you're like, I don't want to do that again. It's probably what other teams are thinking. But like Cody Bellinger, weird, right? Like he's a free agent this year, and now he's gonna want like 7 years based off like solely his performance last year, despite like 3 straight bad seasons. And Cody was like
right.
objectively fantastic last year, but like enough to get a 6 year deal. And that's the thing. People want these big deals right now, and they need to kind of take a look in the mirror and be like, I'm not Xander Bogaerts. I'm not Trey Turner. I'm not Bryce Harper. I'm not Marcus Semien. It's just not really in the cards. Nobody's paying 6 years for Jordan Montgomery. It's not happening.
I think one of the main issues, especially when it comes to like Blake Snell and Cody Bellinger, these are two guys that have very similar career trajectories. I mean, you have Blake Snell, he won the Cy Young back in 2018, fell off a cliff for a few years, just won the Cy Young again last year. Then Cody Bellinger won MVP, I believe 2019, fell off a cliff for 2 years. Last year was top 10 in MVP voting, and they are valuing themselves as Cy Young winners and MVP vote getters. And I just don't think the teams are valuing them in that same way. I think they would value them as a really good pitcher and a really good hitter, but these guys are looking at themselves like they are top 5 at their position.
Yeah.
And objectively, neither of them are.
Yeah, I mean, here's what you need to hear, right? Cody Bellinger in 2019, his MVP season, had a 7.8 WAR. That's easily his best season. And a 7.8 WAR is like pretty good. 47 home runs, like he had a good year, but that is not a crazy high WAR, especially for how good defensively he is. Like he's a good defender. And he plays a couple different positions too. So he's like a WAR gatherer, or should be. And a 7.8 as his best season. It's not great. Then never had over a 2 until last year for like 6 or 5 straight years. So like that peak isn't the peak that you're like, I'm giving you the keys to my franchise, especially with how low you then dipped immediately after for several years. That's scary.
Yeah,
Like teams don't want to do that.
it's crazy. In my opinion, it's crazy for him to want over 200 million.
And he's gonna get it. Like I think the Blue Jays will wind up doing it, or the Cubs. To me,
That's
it's
what the
like
Blue Jays do. They give out bad deals.
not even really. Like how often are the Blue Jays giving out bad deals? They don't do it that
Their
often.
whole pitching rotation in the past 4 years.
The George Springer deal is not looking good either. We might be onto something here. We might be cooking. trading away for Varsho. Yeah, they're trying. I always give them credit for trying.
Oh, of course.
It's hard to like look at the Blue Jays and be like, wow. It's like you're getting free agents when you can. It's hard to get guys to go to Toronto. You need a passport. Half the league doesn't have a passport. I mean, that's probably
What
not
would be
true
hilarious?
because you play every team now, so you kind of have to. But like 5 years ago, I'm sure a guy that played in the Giants might not have had a passport. Straight up.
True. I think it's hilarious how like the whole reason Cody Bellinger signs with the Cubs in the first place is to just go somewhere, prove he's still good, and then get a big contract somewhere else. It would be objectively hilarious if he just got a similar deal that he did with the Cubs and he signs with like the Pirates.
Just do another 1 year.
Just do it all over again.
I mean, that's just not happening. He's getting too old. He's 28. He needs a deal. He needs a deal already. But no, I mean, he'll get signed again. I think he winds up staying with the Cubs. I don't know when though. Like that does need to start rolling. Like sometime this week, 2 of the guys we named have to get signed. Because if not, then like you're getting, especially specifically Montgomery and Snell with pitchers and catchers reporting in a month. Like if they're not on a roster like a week before that, what's going on? And then those guys are in danger of that 1 year deal, which do not give Jordan Montgomery a 1 year deal if you're Montgomery in his camp because he will lose several $1 million. Because he'll be okay this year. He'll be good, but he won't look like he did in that world. We won't be on that World Series high that we're on with him.
I would love if the Yankees brought him back.
Not for the money he's gonna want.
Oh no, not for that. I mean, I'm also
He's
you
like,
know me.
is
I'm
he
a
even better
believer
than
that,
Marcus
like,
Stroman? Like I don't. It's like the same pitcher.
I'm also a believer that like money doesn't matter because there's no salary cap. Owners should just like shell it out.
I would
That's
agree,
just
but
me.
like you got to look at like a little bit into the future too. Like next year, the Yankees' third baseman's gonna get posted from Japan, and he's gonna want a lot of money, and you got to pay Juan Soto. So like, when you like, I agree. Like the money shouldn't matter, especially when you're the Yankees. The Yankees are the singular biggest sports entity probably in the world, next to Barcelona. Like, pay the guy, pay him. But like, it's just not always how it goes. And I understand that. They want to make more money. They want their margins to be good. They're like, hey, there's diminishing returns here. I don't have to get Juan Soto. You guys are still going to like this team. And it's like, yeah, you're probably right. So, they got to save him for Soto. They got to save him for Murakami. I'd rather have Murakami than Jordan Montgomery. I'll tell you that right now.
That's valid.
Valid.
That's valid.
Give me my sweet lefty third baseman Prince so we can move on.
MLB The Show legend.
MLB The Show legend. We haven't even gotten a cover athlete for that game yet. I feel like nothing's happening in baseball right now, which is partly why we haven't done an episode yet because we're just like waiting for some news to come out. We haven't really gotten some, but we're here now. And we're going to be coming out with episodes weekly. And during the season, we might even get a couple sneaky ones in the week. Pop in after like series, like Thursday or Friday or something like that. But Sunday will be the recording and posting day from here on out. Season 2 of Spectators Baseball Podcast. I feel so handsome. I feel so talented. Dude, look at you. Rock on. Oh my God. These light skin facing. Ooh. That's crazy. Somebody hit the Sin City. Exactly. You got any closing words for us, my brother?
Closing words. Yankees World Series champs. Yeah.
That sounds like something we'll do on another episode here. But we do have some good stuff to talk about as the weeks get closer towards the season. We'll do some preseason previews. We'll talk about the Hall of Fame ballots, and we'll talk about individual player projections and that type of stuff. So make sure you guys are subbed and leave a like down below if you guys are watching on YouTube. And we look forward to having you guys in the future. And welcome to season 2. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.